Hello and welcome back to the Arctic Winter here. So today I am back over with my first production line here. I want to try some things out with this. So we have our flat floater here, but if we go into our store, let's have a look at the production. We can actually get a high temp smelter here, which is going to intake some of our ores there and turn them into melted ores. So let's go ahead and buy that. But also, we can get this bar roller, which is going to turn the smelted, or the melted, I should say, ores into our finished product here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and buy that as well. Now, with the high temp smelter here, it's only actually turning some of our ores into a melted form. So I'm unsure how to actually get all of those down, so we can make blooms as well. We have a bloom roller here. Okay, so I guess this is where the rest of those melted ores are going to go, so we're going ahead and buy that as well. So let's go ahead here and get started and see what we can do. So is this empty? There's not too much in this, we can just go ahead and dismantle that. So if we look at our flat floater here, we actually have two connections. So let's go ahead here and see how our high temp smelter. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we're going to have an offshoot there of the flat floater into some storage. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves a left piece there. And we're also going to grab a couple of straight pieces. So 6 meters should be loads. Let's go ahead and actually clean up this inventory while we're here. Don't need those right now. We can buy them back, no problem. Let's get rid of those. So we're going to need this, and we're going to need this. We will need those concrete blocks as well, almost certainly. And let's get rid of that. Okay. So our high temp smelter is connecting onto this lower connection here. So what I think I want to do is put this left piece on the higher one. And then we can put a straight piece underneath here. And from this left piece, we're going to go ahead and put a storage. I should have bought a couple of storages there. I'm probably going to need them. So I believe that is just going to be storing dirt. But that's okay. So let's go ahead here and get our high temp smelter in. Get her on there like that. Let's get some concrete blocks under there for a little bit of support. Make it look slightly prettier. Okay, and we actually need some supports underneath there as well. Let's get this done really quick. Okay, and this side there is not too bad at all. So we're going to have our ores fed from the flat floater in there. This is going to collect some dirt. Try grid build perhaps. It's not amazing, but it will do. Okay, there we go. So out the end here, we should have a connection somewhere, you would hope. So this is an elevator. Okay, let's go ahead here and get out the bar roller. So yeah, we can connect that straight on there. So we're going to have our bar roller, and we're also going to have our bloom roller. Okay, let's go back into our store here and make sure that we did this correctly. So production, put the bare roller first, which is gonna make our, I don't think we did this correctly. So that's the bare roller. And we have the bloom roller, which needs the melted beam, steel beam. High temp starter. Interesting. I don't think we actually need this. Plate here, coils. Okay, so let's get our bloom roller on first, and then we will put the bare roller. Are we sure? Bloom. Okay, let's just get a storage on here. I'll go ahead and run some gravel and make sure that everything is working there. The storage. Got a couple of blocks underneath there, why not? Okay. So we actually have some gravel available to us. Let's run over here to our tunnel and run some dirt through our system here. Here is our trusty loader. We may actually need to blow some of this. I think we can scoop this, no problem. So our vehicle is broken. Let's go in here quickly. So the filter, the turbo, the pump. So we have 3 broken parts. We need a filter, a pump, and a turbo. Okay, beautiful. Let's go ahead and get rid of these old ones here. Go ahead and get the high quality one there. We're going to have this loader for quite a while. A turbo. So we have our filter, a turbo, and we also need the pump. There we go. Let's get you fixed and back up in action. If I can remember where these go. So the filter was here. You go here. And there is our turbo. Okay, let's start you up. A little bit of a tight squeeze, but it's not too bad at the moment. Let's get some nice low scoops into that gravel. Straight back onto the dump deck. Let's just check that our hopper is working. It is. Need to take out a little bit of this ceiling here. Make a bit of room. Oops. Not the best scoop there, but we'll take it. Let's get back into this gravel then. Okay, let's grab one more scoop and I'll run back then into the production line just to make sure that everything is running smoothly out there. There we go, nice full bucket. And if we're lucky, all of our material that we just put through the system there won't be on the ground over here. So we can see it working its way up there to the frat floater. So we have something going into our first storage here, which I suspect is dirt. So all of our ore is actually coming out the top there. Interesting. Interesting, okay. And down here, what do we have? We just have tailings down here. Okay, so we need to reconfigure this. So out of the top here, we're going to connect this high temp smelter, I do believe. Let's get you back on the bar there. So we need you higher up, please. And it does snap on there nicely. Okay, and at the bottom here then we can just collect our tailings. We can use an up piece there maybe to get back up on top of that black conveyor. And let's try an up. Let's just try this one. And get your storage back on up there if we can snap it. I cannot see. There we go. Okay, that's not great there. Let's build you out slightly. We can put some stairs up there if we want to, but I think it should be fine. And we need a little bit of support underneath here then. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and get our bloom roller here. So, I believe I want to put... I need to go back and check again. Yeah, so our bar roller should go first, I do believe. And then our bloom, okay. Get you on there. Let's get our bloom roller on. Another bit of support. And we can take all of this down. Let's get that storage on there. It's gonna fit nicely into that little pad. Actually, that does not fit. Too good to be true. Okay, let's get those concrete blocks back out here. And a little bit more. Save ourselves some money and take these XX blocks. That's fine. Couple more in here. Okay, let's get back over to our loader then and run a couple more loads of dirt and check if it's working this time. The new running speed is very nice. It makes the game much more enjoyable, I would say. Doesn't take forever to get from A to B anymore. Less need to tab between the vehicles. Okay, nice full scoop of gravel there. Need to make a little bit of room here. Got a higher scoop. Some solid pay dirt there. It's not going to work out for us. There we go. Alrighty then, one more scoop and let's go back outside and make sure that that production facility is actually functioning now. Get a nice scrape along the ground there. Good full bucket and back her up. There we go, beautiful. Alrighty then. So in this first new storage I added, I'm hoping to see the tailings now. Yeah, the tailings would make sense. Yeah, as expected. And in the end here, okay, so we are producing aluminium and steel and we're still collecting our ores here. So, interesting. Interesting. Okay, so let's go back in here to our store. So the high temp smelter perhaps will be quite useful to us here. We are collecting all our silicone in the first stage of my plants there from the wash plant. It's gone into its own storage, but it would make it more efficient to have it coming over here. Interesting. So we have the beam roller, loom roller. Okay, so we have our steel here. The bloom roller. Yeah, so this bloom roller is not actually functioning where I have it on the system here. We may as well just run this bar roller straight into that storage there. Interesting. So okay, let's take this bloom roller out of here for right now. The storage can go straight back over here. Now, if I put my bloom roller this side of the storage there, Okay, perhaps I see what is happening. There is a little arrow there. It needs to go... No, it is going the correct way. Interesting. Alrighty then, let's get another storage here, throw her on the end and see if that is going to actually do anything for us. If I go ahead and put my steel in here, maybe it will function. Get all this stuff back in there, our aluminium and our steel. Okay, let's run a little bit more dirt here and see what happens. I may have to rethink the first stage of my operation here. All our silicone is coming in here right now. Yeah. Okay. Back to the loader. What I may actually need to do is look into some CNC machines, get one of those placed down and see what I can actually craft with it. Let's just get one more scoop of gravel here. It should be plenty for our test. Okay, let's get back over there. Our beautiful conveyor system working well. So I'm not actually expecting to see anything in that final storage over there. I do think I need to think about where this bloom roller is going to fit into the system here. And if we go back into our store, production, it is the bloom, right? So we actually need melted iron. Yeah, so we would have to attach this directly there to our high temp smelter, but we have our bar roll connected to that at the moment. Okay, so this is actually useless for now, so let's go ahead and take that down. And we're connecting our steel bars there as well as our aluminium. Okay. So let's go ahead here. We may as well do a little clean out here while we're at it. We got a bit of gold in there, why not? Some rubies and some diamonds. Let's go back over here actually and clean out what we can do to make this a little bit tidier over here is actually, let's grab these back. We'll throw a sell point under this. There's no point to manually sell those tailings there. We'll make some use with our storage container here somewhere along the line, or over in our new production facility maybe. There we go. And I believe I have a sell point in my inventory here. I do. So let's just get you out underneath this. That should do nicely there. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a little shoes to tidy this up. And there we go. Ah, actually, it's completely missing. I need to move it. Okay. And how about there? That will do. We can just leave those there for the time being. We will eventually do something with this. Actually, what we can do, since I'm over here, is take out that bar roller there. I did mention I want to do a bit of a cleanup here, so let's go ahead and grab all this stuff. My inventory is a mess. Okay, there we go. So, while we're over here, we can go ahead, take this down, and I think I will try the bloom roller here instead. Maybe it will be a bit better use. Okay, there we go. Let's throw a storage on the end there. Let's run over to my production facility here real quick and queue these things up. I have quite a lot of material stored up in my smelters over here, so I'm gonna take a look at the CNC machines here very shortly. So let's just go ahead and queue up everything we can here. Get all the gold into this one, give it a nice long run time. We can ignore it then for quite a while. And we should have a bunch of silicone as well, maybe. Do. So we got some diamonds and rubies. I believe our wash plants up here are free there. And we just have a couple of rubies there. Okay. Okay, let's get back into our loader then. Let's put a couple of buckets of gravel through the system and see how the bloom roller performs in comparison there to the bar roller. Need to dig out the backside of this tunnel behind me here so the camera doesn't clip as much. But we're getting there, slowly but surely. Let's clear off a bunch of that there. The lag. Okay. The more I progress in this save, the longer it's taking to save there, which I guess makes sense. There we go, nice scoop. Okay, let's get one more then. There we go. Alrighty, let's go and check on that bloom roller, see how she's working. Okay, I'll go all the way over here to our end. So yeah, we're getting steel and aluminium bloom. So the problem is the copper, the lithium and the silver. We are not really doing anything with those at the moment. But I think I will leave this bloom roller in here for now. What I could actually do... I could put a high temp smelter on here behind this wash plant. That would do our diamonds and our silicone. Interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead and go in here and have a look at a CNC machine. See what we can make. We have quite a lot of materials down here. So I will go ahead and grab what we have there. So we got some aluminium, a bunch of iron, some silver, more iron. We'll leave the silicone there for now. A bunch of rubber. Unsure if I will need that, possibly. Silicone. Silicone. Some silver. Aluminium. A bit more silver there. Quite a lot of iron. Some lithium. And a little bit more copper there. Okay, so we have a bit of floor space up here. Let's go into our store and get a look at these CNC machines. So we have a cutter. Okay. Let's go ahead and get rid of that real quick. And we have a mill. Let's buy one of each for the time being. Not sure how big these are. They're reasonably sized, I would say. Okay. So we need steel beams. We need nuts and bolts. It's quite useful, actually. Really, really useful. I use these steel rods. Okay. So, and we get our mill down over here. Let's actually put it down so we can see it. Okay, there we go. So we need nuts and bolts for sure. Let's go ahead and make a couple of those. Why not? We needed some steel rods, I did say. We can actually build our quest building in here. Piston rods, ECU, lithium. We need plastics, bearings, steel rod. Okay, so we do actually need copper there. Okay. Interesting. There's quite a lot going on here. It's ooh, look at the animation. It's pretty cool. So where do we make steel rods is the question. If we go back into our store here and into our production. Coil roller, perhaps? No. Rod roller, this is it surely. Ah, okay, this is what we need. Yeah, so let's go ahead and buy one of those. This is what I want to use. And let's go back in here. Get those out of my hands, please. So we're looking at making... Yeah, we need steel rod for our tunnel ceilings as well as nuts and bolts. Okay, so I think I'm going to queue up as many nuts and bolts here as I can. It's not actually that many. And a lot of this other material here, I'm just not seeing a use for. I'm going to keep the iron, but the lithium, the copper. I mean, we can make some engine heads, but we really need that. So the nuts and bolts. So we want to keep our steel, and the rest of the stuff we can go ahead and sell because we're going to make some rods outside right now. So it's interesting, you can kind of put different attachments onto this high temp smelter here. Or I'm sure there's a way to actually set this up properly where you can have all of these things working, but I'm not talented enough to do that, I'm afraid. So hopefully, get you off my screen. Hopefully our rod roller will fit in here. It's a little bit bigger. Let's get you down. Get you back under. Beautiful. Okay. So let's go ahead and run a couple more loads of gravel there just to make sure that that is working nicely. I'm sure that it is. How much do those steel blooms for? Alright, let's actually see how much. They sell for nothing. Well, I guess it's only 21 of them, right? It is pretty much nothing. We can sell that iron. We can sell that lithium. That's worth quite a lot, actually. The silver there, not too bad. The copper, not too bad. A little bit more aluminium. So steel, I believe, is the thing that we're wanting to hang on to most there. So we have melted aluminium there. Okay, interesting. So I'm gonna make a bunch of these rods there and make some of these steel mesh ceilings for my future tunneling endeavors. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves a few scoops of gravel here. There we go. Let's just get one or two more scoops and go over and check on our rods there. It is nice that you can make all this stuff. For me, on this map I've had no luck finding coal, so we're pretty light on doing quests and such to build some XP there, so I'm kind of relying on the crafting system and the smelting system to build levels. Just need a little bit more XP there before I can get my tunneling machine and head over to the new facility on the mountain there. Okay, let's call this the last scoop. Go see how that rod roller is working. So yeah, I guess in my mind now, I'm thinking of this rod roller, the bloom roller, the bar roller. They're basically just attachments for this high temp smelter, is what I've kind of decided in my mind is what is happening here. Okay, so we got our steel rods, we got some aluminium ones as well. Let's go ahead and grab these. This can go in there for now. This and this. Try to keep that engine tree somewhat clean. So let's get it back over here. Do we have any nuts and bolts ready? We do. So we come in here then. Let's just build as many of those there as we can. We can't build too many, but any will help. Let's store those in there. Yeah, all this stuff is useful. I'm just curious if it's actually just worth to normally smelt my ores and sell them off. Is it worth more money is my question. Like, is it more efficient to just grind money and buy what you need? But like I said, I do need to grind XP there so I can advance the machinery a little bit. So perhaps to have this stuff running all the time is good for me. Yeah. So I think I'm going to leave it for there. I'm quite happy with the little... I mean, it looks hideous, but I guess it's working right. That's the most important thing. But yeah, I'm quite happy that I've kind of figured out what's going on with this smelter now. So yeah, cheers for watching. I do appreciate that.